You are now tuned into the sounds of Big Nate Sports Talk. It's on all the time, anytime.
Thank you, Mr. Anthony Handy, for that wonderful introduction. Howdy, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Friday. The end of August is this weekend. I cannot believe that September is officially Monday. Wow. I don't even know where that August went. August just came and went, and then before you know it, fall will be here, and then Thanksgiving, and then Christmas. Man, I mean that. Anywho. This is episode 460 of the podcast. This episode, Maryland football is back, baby. Maryland Terrapins this week, tomorrow, they play Florida Atlantic. They play the Owls. First game one of the regular season. But before we get into there's a few things I want to say up front. I apologize for having the Week 12 WNBA recap rankings video up late. Yeah, that video will be up. I'll have it up tomorrow with this video. I'll have it up before the Maryland game. I apologize for having it up so late. Please forgive me. The Baltimore Ravens and Washington Commanders 53-man roster thoughts. I have those videos done this weekend and have those up by Monday at the latest. And then the same thing for the WNBA Week 13 rankings as well. So try to have those done actually by Monday or Tuesday. So stay tuned in for that. But and then I have one final thought. I really not irritated is not the word, but I just need to get off my chest. But anywho, Maryland football is back, ladies and gentlemen. It's been over 275 days since Maryland football painfully ended against Penn State. Let's not bring that up. Last year, we won 4 games. Last year, let's keep it real. Last year was a transition year from the key pieces that helped us, I think, play a role in those 3 bowl wins. You know, Talia, obviously, losing a lot of seniors, some transfers and other things like that. But guys, I think that we thought we'd see take that step forward. It just didn't happen. Billy Edwards Jr., God bless him. He just showed flashes, but just didn't show the consistency. Our secondary was extremely disappointing. Our offensive line, just extremely disappointing. I thought losing Ramon Hemby to Indiana, I thought that was really something. Our tight ends, I think that was something this past transfer portal. So it's interesting to see what this team looks like as a whole. Let me just break it down to you. I mean, when you only win 1 game in the Big Ten and you lose 8, I do think I don't want to say you lost the locker room, but I do think to an extent I don't think individuals were bought in. Like, you can lose a locker room, but you can have individuals not bought into the plan. Um, personally, that team last year, they were better than 4 wins. Let's keep it real. Um, I just I disagree. He said this at the Big Ten media. I just disagree that um, it's. He mentioned something about we have half and half nots. I mean, he revamped this roster. 26 freshmen. Um, on top of that, a boatload of transfers. He definitely rebuffed the coaching staff, which I think gives tremendous confidence. Um, and especially with, like, for me, um, Malik Washington. I think all eyes would be on him. I think a lot of people expecting him to be the starter because Mike has not named the starter yet. Justin Martin from UCLA last year transfer, and the redshirt freshman Christian Martin. I think they all. The thing is, they all to me have similar skill sets, if that makes sense. I do think that whoever will be the starter, they are coming into a situation where the offense is not what it was last year. Octavian Smith is back. He had 30 catches last year. I like the pick. I like the transfer pickup of Caleb Webb. He had 24 receptions the last 2 years with the Volunteers. Jaleel Farouk, Oklahoma, 45 catches, 2023. In 2023, I like that. Dorian Fleming at Georgia State, the offensive line, I think is really better this year compared to last year. I really thought last year's offensive line would have been better, but no, I was wrong. Nolan Ray, to me, is going to take that is by de facto the number one running back. He had 381 yards last year as a freshman. For some reason last year, we really, really struggled running the ball. I think we were like 16th or 17th last year. And come November, running the ball is extremely efficient. And I don't know what that was all about. And getting an offensive coordinator like Pep Hamilton, I think being more multidimensional, those different things like that, I'm curious to see what he's going to do with this offense. The biggest thing to me was the defense, especially other than secondary, like the lack of a pass rush. Actually, and I actually like this pickup. He's getting a former coach from the Baltimore Ravens, Ted Marciano. He worked at Bowie State. He has a tremendous amount of talent, experience. The depth that they brought in this year. Daniel Wingate last year had 50 tackles. Jalen Husky had 3 interceptions last year. I see a lot of different things with this defense from what I've seen. I just think that this team looks a little bit more bought in to the vision. And I think also too, like when you look at this, how everything is, what's what I'm looking for? There's no, there's no, like, even if you look at the schedule, this is there's going to be games where there's going to be mistakes. There's going to be games where, like, if you look, the first 3 games are non-conference, but this year I don't think we would play Michigan nor Ohio State. But nor we don't even play Penn State, if I remember correctly. But actually, let's just check the schedule one more time just to make sure. Okay, FAU, Northern Illinois, Towson, Okay. Wisconsin, Washington, Nebraska, UCLA, Indiana, Rutgers, Illinois, Michigan, Michigan State. If you look at that schedule, honestly and truthfully, that's about 9 wins easily, in my opinion. But again, like this team is young, but it has, I think, the pieces that it has, I think, to compete. And I think also, too, I think it has the leadership and it has a coaching staff that I think can get more out of its players. You know, when you add a Jameer Glasgow out of Wake Forest, when you add a Gavin Edwards out of Austin P, Brandon Lee is back. As Azar Abdul Rahim is back. I'm just giving an example. Getting the 4-star freshman Messiah Delhomme, Delhomme, and then James Thomas Jr. Like that is a young secondary, but those guys look like they're ready to ball. Okay, and especially when you've seen 8 guys leave last year, and he basically went in and did the exact same thing. Now I know we're talking about defense, but I'm going to go back really quick to the offensive line. And I'll really quick. Let me pivot to the linebackers as well. The linebacker position as well. We did lose Hippolyte the second and Darnell Brown because they both graduated. Caleb Wheatland, he transferred to Auburn. Kalen Wyatt went to he went to Indiana, and then that leaves Sidney Stewart, Zahir Matthias, they're freshmen. Trey Riddick, Neo Avery, they're more experienced. I can't tell more where they are in terms of sophomore first, but I know they're a little bit more experienced. And again, Michael Harris, David Wingate, and on top of that too, new linebacking head coach as well. Now, also too, same thing with the defensive line. They definitely will only have one starter from last year, and again, I think it's just Tommy left, Quashawn Fuller, Levon Johnson, Tazias Johnson, all transferred. And then we got Cam Rice out of Ohio State, Dede Holmes from Florida State, Evan Thomas from St. Francis, transfer portal. The 4-star from Bryce Jenkins, I think he's going to get some playing time for sure. And, especially we've got the new defensive line coach too. He's definitely going to have his work cut out for him, but I think he's going to be okay. My biggest concern is just Marciano because, again, I'm not concerned because, he worked with the Baltimore Ravens. He was with us from 2010 to 2015. So he championship pedigree. He adds more, flavor to this coaching staff. And again, like he would be the first full-time play caller since 2022. We hadn't had that because Brian Williams, God bless him, because I know he's at Jackson State now. It just didn't work personally. But transferring to the offense, my only concern is really the offensive line. When you just have the 2 starters, Alu Ba and Alan Haran, they were good, but losing Andre Roy Jr., Colorado, and then Kyle Long in East Carolina. We did get Ratil Perry from Central Connecticut. More than likely, he's going to be our left tackle. I'm curious to see how where Isaiah Wright will fit on that line, because he came from Buffalo last year and he had a season-ending injury. So because to me, those three bowl win, and I wrote this in an article on teammbsmedia.com. This offensive line goes as far, the success of those three bowl wins were because, in my opinion, was because of the offensive line. This team goes as far as the offensive line takes it. And to me, if you understand, like, he fired was a Brian Braswell in the middle of the season, and I believe it's just Damian Warrenbrowski is now the sole offensive head coach, and Hal Hunter, who is, again, he's a tight end. He is the tight ends coach. He will be splitting time. Wow. I just thought about that. Yeah, he will be splitting. He'll be working kind of like two positions, but they'll be fine. Yeah, so I'm not really concerned about that. The running backs this year. I mean, we talked about Nolan Ray, but the guys behind him, they kind of remind me of Ty Johnson and Anthony McFarland in a sense. I could see something like that with that backfield, because looking at the games, they definitely have the speed. I think they'll be fine. So I'm not too worried about them. But this team, it's going to be, there's going to be some good games, there's going to be bad games, but that's part of growth. That's going to happen. So that's what I'm looking forward to this season. And as we get into game 1 against Florida Atlantic, understand this: we have won 15 non-conference games. Last year, if you guys remember, we stomped UConn. I think the final score was like 50-6, and we have well over 600 total yards. Last year, the Owls were 3-9, and they were 1-7 in the AAC, the American Athletic Conference. Zach Kitley is the new head coach. My understanding, he is responsible for the development of Patrick Mahomes. But those who don't know him, he was actually at Western Kentucky. His air raid offense, where Bailey Zappi set an all-time record in single season yardage and touchdowns that year, I think was damn near almost 6,000. I think it was like that. Like, it's like 60. There's a 60, like 62 touchdowns, I want to say. Because yeah, but because he graduated from, because Kitley graduated from Texas Tech. So that's nice to know that Zach he stuck around football. But shout out to Zach Kitley though, because they have not won more than 5 games since the pandemic, and absolutely curious to see what he's going to do with Caden. Caden is coming from Western Kentucky. Last year, he completed 66% of his passes. He threw for 3,000 yards and 25 touchdowns. And I think definitely Kitley will definitely help Caden Volkamp. Definitely, Caden is a redshirt junior, and he definitely is going to bring some experience to this offense. Because Caden, I believe, is 6'6". He was the CUSA Offensive Player of the Year. So yeah, because I think he was. If I remember correctly, I think he also got like the Johnny Unitas Golden Armor Award and some other things, like something else I can't remember. Other things on my notes, let me see. Biggest also thing, I just looked on their offense. It's just a roster. I mean, it's kind of like us, a lot of turnover. They have damn near over 50 new players. If I saw that correctly. They only have 8 players coming back from last year. So same thing like Maryland. It's all It's a new team. The biggest thing for their weakness, their strength is honestly and truthfully is their defense. Last year they were the best team. They were the 19th team in the country in terms of pass coverage. They were actually behind Ole Miss and Tennessee, and unfortunately, three of their starters in the secondary they've all graduated. So, but I went on the I went on their roster, and I pulled it up. Excuse me. The names are Derek Roger Jr., Darius McKee, Dylan Williams, Derek came from Purdue, DeMarcus came from Kansas, and Dylan came from University of Texas at El Paso. So, and yeah, so it should be interesting to see how they look. But my biggest keys to victory, if I'm Maryland, so I'll start with the offense. Now, Mike has not named the starting quarterback. That is okay. We probably will not know who the starting quarterback is until after the Towson game, if we're being honest. Because these three games, I think we're going to see a little bit of all three quarterbacks. And I think it's just going to be this. I think it's just going to see who's going to give us everything. So if I'm Malik, Justin, or Christian, don't go out there and try to be Superman, try to make all the perfect plays. You're going to make mistakes, excuse me, and that is okay. But go out there and make the right plays, make smart plays, different things like that. So it's good. It's going to be interesting to see how all three look, because again, all three to me all do the same thing. Defensively, I'm curious to see how we match up against Caden, because especially our secondary last year was something. I went back and I also took some more notes. They have two receivers, couple receivers that one receiver that I really kind of paid attention to. He's a junior that actually came with Caden. His name is Easton Macer. He had 55 catches, 793 yards. Yes, and that was something. And yeah, I'm curious to see how he'll look on the secondary for sure. And I think we'll be fine. Again, this will be Ted Marciano's first, defense where he's play calling. He'll be fine. Again, he's had experience at the college and the NFL level. He'll be fine. Again, I mean, he has not called plays since 2017. That's fine. I mean, Chuck Pagano just is back with the Baltimore Ravens, and he's picking it up just fine. Dan Pease, I'm just using them examples. Guys, sometimes it like that. Knowing Ted, he will more than likely stick with the 3-4 defense. But I could see that because it actually wasn't his fault. When in Indianapolis, that defense was that bad, but that's okay. We're not going to talk about those Colt teams. That's neither here nor there. The running game, the offensive. Well, I'm curious to see how the offense looks going back to the offensive line as a whole. The offense as a whole, particularly the offensive line, because now with a new quarterback, a new offensive line, now a new running back, how does everything look? You've got 3 new starters. You're going to have a new quarterback. Now your sophomore running back. You've got solid playmakers at wide receiver and tight end, because last year that offensive line, when it came to the both sides, it doesn't matter whether you're passing or running the ball. Damn. Those are my keys. Pass protection, making holes for the run game, and limiting the penalties, false starts, limiting those things, discipline. Those are things I'm looking for as well. But I think if anything, I think it's going to be kind of like what it was last year with Maryland versus UConn. It's going to be like 59. I'm going to say like 59-14.
Guaranteed.
I do think that it's going to be something like that. But like Maryland has not lost a game, like a non-conference game, and I think actually Maryland's like it's like 5 schools. I know it's one of a few of Michigan, Ohio State, then it's Maryland. I can't remember the other two off the top of my head, but they have like one, like it's the way how the stat is, the first game of the year. It's weird to explain, but yeah. Anywho, but that's basically first game of the year. The game does come on tomorrow. Really quick, let me see. It's going to be on the Big Ten Network. So please make sure you have your the Big Ten Network package ready. It's going to be on Fox Sports maybe as well if you have cable. I'm excited for Maryland football to be back. It has been too long. I'm actually excited to see how this team looks because it's been way, way too long. And again, man, like it's going to be mistakes. That's okay. But, just go out there, have fun, man. And also to savor it, like take in the moment, especially for the freshmen, like I have 26 freshmen on the team, like not too many people can, say like, damn, like, oh my gosh, like, damn, like I get an opportunity to show what I can bring to this team. But yeah, the Big Ten Network, 12 o'clock, noon, definitely check it out. But we're going to take a quick break because I really need to get something off my chest. It's not college football related. It is WNBA related. Right back.
What was that? What the hell was that? I'm sorry the H words and the D words aren't appropriate over the airwaves, but it's going to be today. I don't know how much more of this I can take. How in God's name? I just don't know what to say.
Okay. One final thought. So, as I'm recording this video, the Atlanta Dream won tonight. They beat the Dallas Wings, which was I expected them to do. Wednesday night, they played the Las Vegas Aces at home, the Atlanta Dream, and they lost by 6 points. And post game, Ryan Howard. There was a clip that went viral on Twitter. It was no cap. That women's basketball shot by Tyler, Shawnee, Greer, and Andrew, and Richard for members of the committee. But it was a clip of Ryan kind of letting her frustrations out on the fans, essentially not really being, how can I say it, really not not giving them the energy that was expected. But I'm going to just play the clip because the more I could show you better than I could tell you. So actually, let me do it this way.
You learned about your team during this stretch that you didn't already know?
No, I mean, I feel, I already felt like we had one of the best teams when we are playing our best. But we're getting to the point where, the playoffs are just around the corner. And there's another gear that we can get to. I know maybe not all of our players are aware of it right now, but there is another level that we can get to. And we only got a couple weeks to get there because, like, this hurts right now. But as you mentioned, like, it doesn't compare to the hurt of all of a sudden it's the playoffs and you have one of these shooting nights and a game gets away from you and you don't advance when you have a team that's capable of winning the whole thing. And, I mean, I'm in front of all of you. Like, anything can happen this year in the W because the teams in the playoffs are all capable of beating each other. But we definitely have a team that can win the whole thing. And we're going to regroup. And when we get, hopefully, we'll win some games here. We'll put ourselves in a good position to have as much home court advantage as possible. But even if we don't have it, we know that we're capable of winning anywhere. Thank you.
This question is for you. You came in 15 points in the first half. What was your mindset coming into this game? And then talk to us about like how they were playing you in the first half that allowed you to have the success you had early.
Just being aggressive. I think just taking advantage of what the defense is giving us. I think my team did a great job of getting the ball straight to my hands and in the spots I wanted them. So shout out to them. But I think just being aggressive and taking what the defense gave us.
Right. Take us through that third quarter. What did you feel like? Was it what you guys were doing, what they did? What was the difference in that
I
third?
think it's hard to try to compete and, have a great game. Obviously, there are runs, but, this is a challenge. Like, we rely on our fans, and when they pick and choose who they want to cheer for and come in and, make it feel like a away game for us and a home game for the other team, it's easy going to run like that. Especially with playoffs coming up, like, you want to come see Gamecocks? We have Gamecocks on our roster. The last game, we had MVP chance for one of our players. Don't get here and switch up because of one player. And yes, we do make mistakes, but it's easy to lose momentum when you have other people cheering against you. So that's hard to do.
Bree, on Friday, Dallas is here. How do you kind of take tomorrow and kind of reset to get ready for them?
I think we just got to continue to get better at the things that we need to work on. Closing out games when we have leads, just continuing to hold them, and then we're still working on us. It's always about us. We have a new we're playing Dallas, but we still got to work on us and be the best Atlanta Dream team that we can going into playoffs.
This question is for both of y'all. Ex-coach this. Obviously, you don't want to lose a game, but would you rather have a moment like this, a close game against the Aces, than rather, getting a loss in the playoffs in a 3-game series?
I think games like this they definitely prepare you for the playoff. How it's going to be, how physical it's going to be. Playing, we've played the top of the league, the last 3 games. So I think just being able to, like I said, capitalize on when we have leads and controlling the game the way we want to, and then executing our offense and defense, the way coach wants. I think it's all a learning experience, and then we can definitely learn from this. We don't want to lose the game, but we've got to take what we did today and get better from it.
quick follow up, and this is specifically for you, Bree. You've been on teams back in your days in Connecticut where you guys were going to the finals. Like, what are some of the things that it takes to do that, and how do you hope to bring that to the Dream?
It's being you got to be locked in for 40 minutes. I think it's we have some ups and downs, but it's trying to keep that consistency throughout the entire game. I think the more that we can do that, the more that we can be consistent for the entire 40 minutes, the better off we're going to be.
Brian, over here, sorry. Coach talked about you guys being a team that can compete with anybody with the best of the best. What do you think will take for you guys to kind of get there and be able to compete with the best of the best?
I think we're already doing it. We are the best of the best as well. Like, we're in the top teams. So, like, when you mention the top teams, you have to mention us. You have to put us there because of what we've done and how hard we worked to get there. Yes, we do have to like capitalize, like Bree said, but we're not in a position anymore where we talk about top teams and not mention ourselves.
This question is for both of you. Just over the years and your experience, just how do you deal with the physicality and maybe calls not necessarily going your way? How does your mindset change and how you defend? Or I'm not trying to get you fined or anything, but just how do you take on that challenge to defend and maybe not get the calls that go your way?
No, you just make them call it. And if they're going to be sensitive about it, then that's something else that you have to take up. But you can't change the way we're going to play because refs don't want to do their job. We're not going to not do our job because somebody else isn't doing theirs. And so we have to continue to put the pressure on and continue to fight and continue to, we don't complain that much. I don't believe that we complain that much as other teams do. And, we get the calls, we don't. But we still have to talk about it. We still have to stay together. We still have to put the pressure on the refs to call it. And if they don't, then that's another discussion for another person.
Good. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
And thank you, ladies. All right. My thoughts. So, okay. Ryan's feelings are most certainly valid. I understand what she was saying in terms of fans. Atlanta, in terms of sports, historically has been like that. I can even give you an example when it comes to here, living in Maryland. As a Raven fan, last year, when the Commanders came to Baltimore, even though a lot of black and purple was at M&T Bank Stadium, you damn better believe it was a lot of burgundy and gold. The point that I think to an extent that Ryan is also making, I think this is fair to say, like, as fans, you are kind of like the sixth man. You are the 12th man. I do get that. But also, too, like, fans will let you know when you're not giving it your all. There are fans that are going to give you max energy, all of it. Now, as far as the we have Gamecocks on our roster too part, Alicia Gray, first and foremost, is in the MVP conversation. Most definitely should be all first WNBA team. I mentioned that in the previous in that recorded video. Tahina Powpow should be all WNBA rookie team. Naz Hillman should be 6th Woman of the Year. Ryan herself should have some kind of WNBA defensive team. Bree Jones should be in the conversation for something. BG, I feel like Atlanta hasn't really gotten what was expected out of her. I don't understand she's older and that's fine, but like, here's the thing. This is the first year. First and foremost, this is a newly revamped team compared to last year. Last year's team, and I get it with injuries last year, and also too was inconsistencies too. But there was last year's, I think last year, like they beat Vegas, same thing. If I remember correctly, Aerial Powers got in Jackie's face and I got the crowd hyped up. Cheyenne Parker Tyus mentioned the same thing about, fans X, Y, and Z. You also have to understand from this perspective, there are players that have a different type of aura, a different type of energy. And this is not just pertaining to Atlanta. Like, as me, for example, y'all know I cover the Mystics. Y'all know I cover the Maryland women's basketball team. I'm going to give you an example. Last year, Maryland had a terrible snowstorm, and we played USC. Xfinity was sold out because they came to see, everyone came to see Juju. UCLA, everyone came to see Lauren Betts. The year prior to that, Caitlin Clark and the Iowa Hawkeyes came to Maryland, and everyone came to see Caitlin. The same thing with the Mystics. Now I didn't get the cut. I didn't get the credentials to cover those games, but the Mystics had to move 4 times because of the demand to see Andrew Reese and Caitlin Clark. It's just a different aura. Like, you have to also understand like the proximity from Atlanta, South Carolina, but also too, like, to me, this is just my opinion. This might be for some the only opportunity where you get to see Asia Wilson in person. And also, too, we acknowledge her as the face of the league, correct? So the A1s, the Nike bottles, different things like that. Her book that she came out with, the young lady where she was balls of tears of joy, but emotional because she's meeting Asia Wilson. Like, those type of things, like, that's letting you know that type of aura is in the room. But also, too, let me just say this, and again, and I'm not trying to beat a dead horse on it, and I know this is already, but let's look at this box score. You cannot tell me it's about fans, because her first thing was about the fans. The third quarter, as a cohesive unit, the most everyone came up with 6 points. That can't happen. How do you, as an offense, muster 6 points?
I can't defend that. What do you want me to say to that?
And then on top of that, like, you can't, that's not a fan thing. And also, too, there are games where, like, even when you were on the road against Las Vegas, you had a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter, and you blew that. But my point is that, okay, could fans have given you energy? Sure. But it wasn't just the Asia Wilson. I think it was a Chelsea Gray and one. There were certain things, like Jackie Young had a triple-double. There were certain things I think that they let the momentum get out their hands. Bree Jones said it. You have to be consistent 40 minutes. And also, too, you have to figure out how to dig deep. But also, too, like, I can't sit here at the same time. And I get, like I said, I get where Ryan's coming from, but I cannot sit here and in good faith and blame the fans. Because at the end of the day, 7 of 22, 6 of 17. I mean, the bench only gave me 10 points. And outside of 2 players mostly everybody was in the negatives.
I mean, this is some bad stuff. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to say. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how much more of this I can take. I just don't know. This is ridiculous. Oh, Lord.
And I pull up the wrong thing. I mean, here, and just to prove it, like, here, look at the box score. Like, look for yourself. Like, come playoff time, and the playoffs are different. Like, we can't blame fans in X, Y, and Z. And also, too, this is the regular season. The playoffs are a totally different. It's a totally different game thing. Everything resets at 0. Like, this is really the first year with an Atlanta team, and I know it's a whole different coaching staff, new players, all that. But like, I'm sorry. Like, I hear what she's saying. Her feelings are valid, but like, to me, this is where you lost the game. Was the third quarter. They came back in the third quarter and they scored 27 points. But again, it's they've had games like this throughout the season. You can't turn it on and then turn it off. You're not going to win games like that consistently, especially come playoff time. And especially in this new playoff format, like, if you got to go up against a Vegas, for example, yeah, it's a wrap. But I'm just saying, like, yeah, could the fans have supported you a little bit more? Absolutely. And unfortunately, historically, it's most of the players that have played for Atlanta, whether it's the Hawks, the Falcons, all that, they'll all say that without a shadow of a doubt. But like, at the end of the day, I have a question. Who is the emotional leader on this team? When I say lead, lighting a fire under somebody, and it doesn't matter if they're, like, for example, this is a good example. What she said in the press conference, I would have said in the third quarter. As an example, to light a fire under somebody. Somebody has got to, in this group, has got to let them know, like, come on, y'all, like, that's embarrassing. And also, too, y'all have to let them know I'm in the room. Like, she may be the star, but this is our house. Like, psychologically, you have to let them know that. You just can't let them come in there and then just do whatever they want. And also, too, they came in there knowing they could clinch the second playoff seed, and they were riding an 11-game win streak. So there was a lot at stake. You could have played spoiler. Again, I get her. I get where she's coming from, but I think we're losing the plot. I'm sorry. That's just my opinion, because key pieces at key moments are not producing consistently. But we're AJ, let's end the episode. That's okay. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Big Nate Sports Talk Podcast. Please like, comment, and subscribe for our future content. This episode will go up tomorrow, before the Maryland game. I apologize for this episode being so long, but I really had to get it off my chest because the amount of think pieces, whether it's TikTok or whether we're losing the plot. And come on now, we're better than that. Like, fans could do a whole lot better, absolutely, but no. At the end of the day, that's you as a player. Players got to hold each other accountable. If you're not playing well, fans are going to let you hear it, but players that had to hold each other accountable. And they had a chance to win that game, and they blew it. Period. Leave it at that. Like, comment, and subscribe. We out of here. Peace. Stay up.
Thank you for tuning in to Big Nate Sports Talk. If you enjoyed that episode, be sure to like, subscribe, and share Big Nate Sports Talk. It's on all the time, anytime.
And I want to thank you. All I want to do is say thank you.